My mental health now is far better. I'm glad to say that I am out of my depression. My anxiety never go away. My anxiety has to be managed on a daily, if not hourly basis, where there's been this pressure to, well, you know, I must go out and I must be sociable and I must do this and I must do that. For me now, I actually surround myself with people within my social life that actually boost me up and actually give me energy rather than drain my energy. There is a need in the community for that service. It wouldn't be there otherwise. And I think that you know, the stigma that surrounds it and that people not accessing it means that they're missing out. They're missing out on helping themselves. I got in contact with the service after I had a letter through from the neurodevelopmental team, who I've been referred to for an autism diagnosis. And within there was a leaflet about CAS. I wasn't particularly in a brilliant place. I understood and I knew, having accessed services from Coventry and Warwickshire Mind previously, that getting in touch with services had helped me in the past. I was aware that I actually didn't need a diagnosis to access the CAS service, which to me was quite beneficial because currently the waiting lists for the autism or ADD diagnoses are quite long. I think having that support in place when you're in that kind of waiting period where you can talk to people who are professionals and the service has been set up to actually support specifically either people with or without a diagnosis, that to me was going to be beneficial. Structure to me is very important within the majority of my life. So to get that in place and to understand that that is something that's important has really helped. It's been really good within my workplace now. I have a structured thing to follow where I'm actually doing various activities throughout the day. So that to me is great. But then I also take from it that in my lunch break, I will go for a walk. I can actually go for a walk up to the local park. For me, nature is something that nurtures me. It's something that feeds me. It's something that kind of keeps me on a very even keel. It's helped me to look at things in a different way and to make sure that I get these particular things in place that I know are going to keep me well. My mental health now is far better. I'm glad to say that I am out of my depression. My anxiety never go away. My anxiety has to be managed on a daily, if not hourly basis. I know that keeping these particular things in place, going out for walks, indulging in my special interests such as my photography, my images, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff, where I can do those things outside of my work life as well, and also knowing when to take a rest. I think sometimes within the past where there's been this pressure to, well, you know, I must go out and I must be sociable and I must do this and I must do that. For me now, I actually surround myself with people within my social life that actually boost me up and actually give me energy rather than drain my energy. Luckily as well, working from home, where I'm in an environment where I have control over that environment, I don't get wiped out within the week as much as I used to. I'm not saying I still don't get tired, but, you know, at least I'm on a more even keel. And for me, that's also meant that I understand and have a better understanding of the trigger points that I hit as well, to know that I need to put other things or other management in place, or I need to reach out to my support structures at particular points as well. The education course that CAS did, through learning from my peers, basically that got me in a better place to understand where it was more beneficial and nurturing for me to be, rather than where I was. So for me, that's helped me to kind of move on and maybe not chastise myself for the things that I can't do, even though you've always done those things before that maybe they're just not that good for you. So it was about being able to kind of sift that out. And, you know, the friends that I've made from the peer support group, yeah, just, they're great because they just say it like it is. And that to me is a help. So the benefits that I found from the peer support group were talking to other people who understood. You could pose a question or just tell people how you were feeling, and to actually have that reflected back and people understanding was really, really good. It was really beneficial for the way that I was feeling, for my mental health. It kind of helped my anxiety drop, that kind of thing. The education course session, I absolutely loved there's a particular visual that's there about how a neurodiverse brain works compared to a neurotypical brain. I think a lot of us like to call it the spaghetti brain because that's what it looks like. It goes on so many different pathways when you've been asked a question compared to a neurotypical brain, which is very structured and very straight lined. And yes, we're going to go this way and we're going to go that way, but no. That to me just really hit home about there actually isn't something wrong with me. I just happen to be different to the way that other people process stuff. That sent me then off on various other tangents of looking into other things. It kind of gives you a bit of structure about this is the information, and then if you do want to look into other things further, which I think probably the majority of the neurodiverse crew tend to, then they were really good, and I did find them very interesting. Would I recommend the service to others? I would. I think accessing services, there is still a stigma around that. That a lot of people avoid that after they've been to their GP, they've been referred on to a specialist service, they're on a waiting list, they're still struggling, you know, that there isn't anything else that they're actually accessing. Services are there basically to support people, whether they've been diagnosed or whether they haven't. There's a lot of services out there that can actually support somebody, you know, while they're either waiting, or that can actually signpost them to other places that could help. I think that's the thing, the services do link up with one another. It's not a one-size-fits-all. CAS has a brilliant resource list that's got information on of other services that can be accessed. And brilliantly, they've popped it into different sections where it reflects things like employment or you know, interest groups or various things like that. So to me, that's a brilliant resource in itself. And I wouldn't have known about any of those had I not been in touch with CAS.